Okay, this is a video to get you started with your Autodesk Inventor CAD drawings for both my Level 2 and Level 3 engineering classes. First things first, you are going to be using a hard copy of the drawings. So the substitute will be handing out this piece of paper. The front has ISO line 1 through 9. Make sure you do the correct drawings. We'll be looking in Schoology to know which ones. And the back of this paper has ISO circ 1 through 6. Once again, you're not completing all 15 of these drawings, so check Schoology to see which ones are being completed and turned in. Okay, so we did this last class, but I'll run through it again. I'm just going to use my second period course as an example. I'm going to ask you all once again to be in Schoology when you are completing today's activity in order to turn in your assignments, but also to use it as a reference if there's something that you missed in class. So I'm going to open up second period. Every one of my classes is going to have an Autodesk Inventor CAD folder. I will be posting more than likely this video in this folder if you need to go back and reference this. But what we did last period is we connected our Google Drive to our AppStream account. So let me show you how we went through this. You're going to open up a new tab. You just need to log into your Google account. And when you log into your Google account, you're going to click on what's called the waffle. And then you're going to select that, scroll down, and locate what's called AppStream. When you click on AppStream, we're going to wait a moment. Here's your first step. We're going to open up the Autodesk suite. And then we're going to be selecting Autodesk Inventor Pro. This is something we discussed about waiting about 50%, and you should see Autodesk Inventor launch. If it does not, you will see a retry button. You can try that a few times. If that still does not connect to you, you can close this tab, return back to the waffle, and relaunch AppStream. If that still doesn't work, close everything, restart your computer, and try again. These instructions that I'm going through are located in your Getting Started Opening AppStream Google slide. So once we get close to this 50% mark, we're going to be able to launch Inventor. And to be clear, I'm just in a tab. So we're going to be jumping from tab to tab to both turn in assignments and to actually use Inventor itself. So here we go. It's loading the application. I repeat, you might run into some quirks, some snags, some hangups. So just be patient and either retry and or eventually restart your computer. Now, another thing you'll find in this Google slide is that we attached your Google Drive account. To be honest, I've done this, so you won't see the steps when I show you my drive settings. So to be clear, you need to look at the Google slide on how to attach your Google Drive account. But it goes something like this. Once we launched Inventor, and if you're doing this for the first time, you now want to go up here to the folder icon. This is called My Files. I repeat, you're going to see something different in my slideshow, but you will see a button here called Add Storage. You'll then click on the @fcps.schools.net account link. You will then see your name, click on it, and you will allow access to Google Drive. If you follow my Google slide, you should now see Google Drive as one of your folder options. Very important. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. Some of you have already done this, but if you haven't, make sure that step is done right after launching Inventor. Once again, locate the Google slide. A few things to remember. We are in a tab, but when working in Inventor, I like to go to full screen right here. And if I ever want to get out of full screen, you can hit the escape key on your keyboard, or you can come up to the top. There's this white ribbon bar. You can see this drops down, and you can go back to a normal screen size like so. Okay. Now I'm going to keep my screen like this for now. Let me go back to my second period class. Once again, this applies to my level 2 and level 3. You're going to see getting started, opening AppStream, and connecting your Google Drive. You're also going to see this Google Doc here, which is going to work with some type of challenge that I've given you at the end of the isoline and isocirc drawings. Okay, you're going to see this challenge. It's the whatchamacallit if you're a level 3 kid, and it's going to be your rocket nose cone collar if you are a level 2 kid. Okay, so this is a document for this challenge. So go in order, please. Do not skip around. So you're just going to start, in this case, with isoline 3 if you're a level 2 kid. And if you're if you're a level 3 kid, if you're a level 2 kid, you're actually going to start with isoline 2. Go in order. Now, when you are done with a drawing, you clearly can see that you have the ability to turn it in here. So let me just go back to Inventor. This is our home screen. To get started with the drawing, there is a little white piece of paper here. So I'm going to go ahead and make my screen full size. I'm going to go ahead and click on the little white piece of paper that is new. When you do this, you may not see that drop-down menu I just closed, so you may have to first hit this arrow next to ENUS. And in our case, all the isoline and isocirc drawings are English, but when you get to your challenge, either the nose cone collar or the whatchamacallit, you'll be using metric. So I'm going to select English. I'm going to open up standard IN for inch. Now you can double click here or select it and hit create. Either or, I'll just double click. Give it just a moment. Just pay attention to the bottom left hand of your screen. If it says loading, it means it's doing something. All right, once this is open, let's be clear, this is just a open space, okay? It's infinite. So to get started, you want to hit S on your keyboard. And it really depends on which view you want to start drawing. That's a front view. That's called the XY plane. This is the right side view, the YZ plane. And this right here is the XZ plane for the top view. Example, if I was doing isoline 2, my level 2 kids, I'd probably just start in my front view. But for any of you getting to isoline 3, you could do front view, but a lot of times I'll actually start with the top view, okay? So once you decide which view is easiest for you to start the drawing, just go ahead and select it. So I'll just select the front view. I'll draw something very simple here. I can just draw a series of lines. Let's not forget, you can click, move in the direction you don't want to draw. You can always type in a value if you want, and then you can continue that process. I'm not going to worry too much about drawing anything specific here. Draw some random shape. Okay. Let's not forget, if you ever need to erase anything, I like to right-click and first escape out of the tool. But then I can click on a piece of geometry and I can right-click on it and hit delete if that ever comes up. Okay. You can also put a box around stuff. Once it's selected, you can also right-click and delete all of it if you want. Let's not forget that Control-Z works. You can bring things back if you need to. Okay. A dimension tool is also important. We talked about this in some of my other classes. Dimension. If you want to dimension a line, you can just click on it once, move away, click on it again, and you can type in a value if you need to. Okay. You can also dimension a variety of ways. So for example, I can also get rid of this. I can also dimension by selecting 2 points. For example, click here, click here. Once I put the value here, I can type in a number. I'll just type in 0.6. Okay, and the drawing adjusts. Okay, let me just finish that. Okay, some cool tools here are zoom all. You can also double click your mouse wheel to zoom all. You can also click on this little house to bring everything back in its correct orientation. Let me go ahead and just put an extrusion on here. I'll extrude this to 0.25. Let me just hit OK. So here's this wacky looking design. Let's just say I'm going to save my work. I'm going to go to File, Save, or Save As. It does not matter which one you select since you haven't saved it yet. So let's just say I hit Save. Okay, so this is important, where we are saving our work. You did this in class, and it's in my Google slide. We created a folder called CAD, and that folder is under My Drive, which is in your Google Drive. So under this drop-down, I'm going to go to Google Drive, My Drive, double-click. You'll notice sometimes there's a bit of a delay, and then there's the folder I created for my Level 2 course. Now, if you ever find these folders are just not appearing, let me show you a trick. Right-click anywhere in this white space, just right-click and hit Refresh. That will synchronize your Google account with Inventor. Sometimes there's a delay. Sometimes the screen will just lock up. Just stop, be patient, and wait for it to synchronize. And once it does, you'll see your folders appear. Let me open up CAD L2. That's that funny file name I made with one of my classes. We're going to call this one Test. Now, always give a file the name of the drawing. So some of you might be typing in something like ISO line 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. And always end with your last name and period number. Okay, so I'm going to use this as a better example of how you're going to be saving most of your ISO line and ISO cert drawings. Pay attention to where you're saving it, and then hit save. Okay? Last thing I'm going to show you is this. When you have completed a drawing and you are satisfied, here's what you need to do. First, let's get out of full screen. I'm just going to hit my escape key on my keyboard, or I can come up here to the top and hit the 4 arrows. But I'm just going to hit my escape key. So now that I've saved my work, I can go back to Schoology. I can open up the assignment for that drawing, and I can upload that file and turn it in. So once again, focus on completing the drawing accurately, save it to your CAD folder, and once it's been saved, now return back to Schoology and turn in the file. If you ever find that something is incorrect, I'll leave you with this. Pay attention to what's happening on the left. You can see that I can hit this plus symbol, and I can go back to a sketch I was working on, double click on it, and I can continue to make changes. Save those changes, and then turn it in before. Okay, so pay attention to the drawing itself, to the measurements on the paper. Remember, you're going to have both a hard copy of this, so it's very easy to find these customary measurements. Remember, this is 4 inches, 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches. This is all in customary. Okay, folks, wishing you the best. Good luck. Get as far as you can. And if you do finish early, I don't have a problem with you helping students. Do not grab their mouse. Let them drive. You can give them instructions. And please, please, please return your laptops. Your mouse cord should be rolled up before you put it in the bag. And please stack my mouse pads correctly. And just make sure those USB-C chargers are plugged in properly before you leave. Okay, good luck. And if you have any questions, I'm an email away. Thank you.